So, welcome guys, and today this video is going to be about a matter that is really crucial to me. A specific type of problem that the majority of people, I will say 80 to 9% of people face today, anxiety. And so, this matter of this video will be about how to manage anxiety in the modern world, and obviously this will be using the the concepts, the way the concepts and approaches that the science has been studying and has been approved by the way that they do science by interaction. They have interaction, they make observations about the way that we can solve the problem. So we hypothesize and we test the hypothesis, and depending the feedback that we receive, and obviously being critically building groups where some specific approach are applied and the approach is not applied, you see so the effect in some specific indicators that have to be representative from the levels of anxiety that some specific body can have. So this objective being said, let's go for the video. Now, anxiety is the way that our body tries and establish as a response to any type of stress of perceived danger that we have. And what's the problem of anxiety today, and why we're more anxious than the ancestors probably were? Because even if we compare the lifestyle, the way that we are in our world, the conditions that we have, probably we will say that we have better conditions to proliferate, to survive. And it's something that it's really has to be said that in the majority of the countries we have seen a evolution in the conditions of lifestyle. That's something that's proved by the expectancy of lifetime that the people tend to have is something that is like adopts a growing function over the time because conditions have been evolved. But the stresses and dangers have evolved as well too, because in a world that it's so easy to interact with people, that we're kind of so triggered with stimulation, our body requires to be responsive a lot of times. If we compare with probably our ancestors a lot of time ago, people that were living in a wildlife, what was the things that triggered them? Basically, were the only type of predators that they could face, and it was not something that they would always see, because the majority of times they will not be facing, they will not be escaping from the predators, and things that they have to take care other than just getting health and survive is to get reproduction. So it's like they kind of will got like three concerns to survive, to reproduction, and when I talk survive, so escaping from danger, and to probably to hitting, so getting they could have like stress dangers that if they don't hit they will gonna die. And we can addition some type of other ones, probably they have to get attention with the cold, like to get some social approval, but in type of small scale, because we will live in tribes which so are kind of low, and so the number of people which I'm gonna have to face and to the roles, so the way that we behave, and so is triggered by having a fear to be rejected. And if we're gonna kicked out from a tribe in the past, it will be something that will be close from a synonym of the word death in the past, and so it's something that generates stress. The way the feedback that tribe which I'm included will so perceive me. If we make a comparison for today, assuming these type of things that already were proved by science, we tend to obviously have some type of oscillation between the terms of stress. So neither all type of stress are perceived in a certain way, but even with that say, there sometimes a specific stress it tends to be over evaluated, and it's obviously we not face like being and suffering stress of getting being like having to entering in our work late, it's not a stress that is close from probably having to escape from a specific predator, but the proportion of how much we are in danger and how much levels of stress triggers by each one of these two stimulations is not something that's proportional. So the way that what you should create in terms of stress in our body, of the possibility of getting late in our work, it should be much more lower than it is in reality. Because if we're going to compare of how much we're dangerous by doing it in comparison with how much we are in dangerous if we will have to escape from a specific type of facing that you could have with a lion, with a tiger, the way that the stress response generated, it should be more like fair from so of what they are. And so what this creates, even if we're not facing the majority of times triggers as they are like fearing for our life, we are exposing to much more triggers that, like, if we're going to see like a normal day, we start already by feeling some specific trigger stress because we kind of face and we wake up, we have the stress to get close really, really, really fast because we could have the possibility of getting late to our work. Now that we have faced that, we work and we're going towards our home, our work, and you're probably like in a bus. So we have the concept of social proof. We want to be really want to seem like something that is good. We want to see like that we're well looking, that we don't have like strange smells, and so is another stress. The dangers of having like a figure, a image that we're not someone that we take care of us, and so it's already a stress if we have like forgot of doing some type of wash in our body and we are in the public transport, and so we have another stress. We reach in our job and we have to deal with other persons, another stress. Because if when you're in a group and you're working, it's like a comparison of being in a tribes. But when we were in tribes, our need to cooperate, our need to establish and make relation with other ones, probably just will have to be in the moments that we are making the hunt. So we have to cooperate. We have this stress of performing. But when we're talking about the corporative world, it pushes to a stress level that it's something that's constant, and even now reinforcing if it's not like in the higher, it's so high as being F2 so the way that it triggers the stress when you are hunting is not the same as when you are normally working, but the basal it surpasses the total amount of stress that our body was put in comparison with a small type of term in terms of times that we have exposed to a stress trigger that is hunting, and it wasn't something that was to last a lot of times in comparison when we're working while we're doing like 8 hours a day. That's something that's constant over any day, and so it's our basal stress tends to be higher, and it's something that we are kind of obligated because in comparison with the tribes, our reference level it would stop just by getting our prey. In cooperative world, we have other peoples that are working constantly, and even they're facing adversities as stress. Other ones have to match, and so this is a type of concurrency that makes everyone being stressed by trying to perform and outperform the concurrency. So it's something that has to be important to understand that the main type of arguments that we can say till this video is we're not exposing to high type of stress type of triggers actions, but we're exposing to a long-term high levels basal of stress that our bodies perform, and our body it has grown during that type of environment that we're made to face short-term stress and now we are facing long-term medium levels of stress, because in the past we were like have a variance, so we have these high peaks but we come to a basal that's low. Now we are always in a level that is constantly higher than the basal. So when it's constantly higher than the basal, it creates a new type of basal level of stress. That so it's what, by what science seems to say, it creates a higher anxiety and a chronic anxiety, because we establish so a new type of stress, that level that's considered as normal. And so it's not something that we are used to, we were made by. And it's like a type of thing that we kind of make a comparison with what happens in the reality. We see that we can make comparison with physics, that we have something that we make a shock in a specific material and see if it has deformation or not. And the other deformation that can happen, it's when we make constant type of pressure over a material during a time. In certain point they will deformation. So both will deformation, both can have deformation. But in the past, what will be the deformation? We got depth because we're gonna face the some specific type of trigger that is a hand, a lying tire, and so we get depth, and so life hands there, and so it's not something that we have to bother more. Today, no, today we're facing constantly something that not puts our life in danger, but we just have too much in comparison with what should be our level, basal level, and so this creates as well deformation. That's why we, even if we not understand, if we not say, well, I not have faced any type of really bad stress, but we have like always having a specific amount of stress that should be lower in comparison, so with what's be the normal, and so some type of diseases can start happening in our life. And so this is the way that we should have in terms of perception about what is anxiety. So anxiety and the problems that comes with anxiety are that the constant level of stress that we face during our day-to-day life, and that's something that we have to work on. Now this video was with the objective of trying to solve stress, and the first step is concluded, is understanding why so we have this type of epidemic of having people that are suffering with effects of any stress. In the next video we're gonna try to work in a solution. So see you in the next one.